In this episode, we are going to talk about parenting from the perspective of the void. Maybe on first glance, it doesn't make sense that I went from talking about the adult man to talking about parenting from the perspective of the void. Frankly, I got sick of talking about the villains of the void. There's a lot more to discuss, and we will go into everyone, all the nooks and crannies. People ask me all the time, how did my parents allow this to happen? What were my parents thinking? How could they let him move into the house? It doesn't make any sense. What was my mother's childhood like? There's an awareness that our childhoods impact the choices that we make. People can see that my mother doing what she did to me, there must be something in her childhood that happened to her. I'm choosing moment to moment to process and clear the energy of what happened to me, to heal from my childhood. The cycle breakers, the people that choose to interrupt the pattern of behavior, generational things that continue in families. We are often met with the most pushback. Parenting from the perspective of the void. It's a big concept. It really is everything. It's how we get here, how we're human. To take everything and sculpt it down into one thing. I am painting pictures with my words. I'm sculpting sensation with my language, my self-expression, what I feel, what I know to be true, my experiences, and how I see the world. It's my art, it's my truth, and it's for you. Welcome to the Plumb podcast. I'm Rosalee.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Plumb Collective. Everything about me influences how I speak about this. The fact that I did hair, that I was recorded as a child, I am disabled, the fact that I watch reality TV, my personal perspective, my point of view, the position that I felt the sensations in the void, and the position I see it to give it language now. This episode is the beginning of a really important part of the void conversation, taking the void experience that I had into a deeper, meaningful experience for you. It's been almost 10 years since I entered the void. Every waking moment, I have devoted my life, my attention to understanding what I felt and giving it language. This is a conversation about duality and singularity. This is a conversation about source. I felt unconditional love. Not how we define it in our human experience, but the energy underneath all of the gunk that we put on top of it, the electricity, the spark, the frequency that we give words to. Our personal perspectives, our points of view distort or enhance the actual truth of the energy. This is more philosophical than some of the other content that I've shared, but really this is what's underneath it all. Everything that I say holds this energy as my core belief. How do you put that into words? The sensations that I felt in the void are applicable to everything and anything because that is what the void felt like. All of it was there. Everything good, everything bad, and none of it was actually labeled that way. It just was the whole totality of the universe with no judgment, no right or wrong, no hierarchy. It just was all there, available to choose. There are ways that we talk about universal truths that put rules and restrictions on top of something that's meant to be really loose and open. We narrow it with our word choices. We remove possibility from a really free-flowing energy when we restrict how we speak about something. I could speak about what I felt in the void from many different angles. The one that became obvious to me was to speak about this from the angle of parenting. Having a near-death experience is a wild experience. It's hard to know how to put it into words because it's something that we don't experience in regular life. This is my belief about language. We want to be understood. We want other people to feel what it feels like to be us so that we feel less alone. When we love someone, we care about someone, we like someone, we want to know what their experiences are like so that we can feel closer to them. Sharing about our experiences is what bonds us together. We connect over shared experiences, we connect over conflict and disagreements. We connect through language. Language oftentimes does not include words, but when we think about language, we often only think about words. There's energetics, a vibe, a feeling, a frequency in the air, something you can sense in your body. Take that and multiply it. When I had a near-death experience, it's not an earthly experience. I'm just thinking about Katy Perry's face. It's like, but like when I became conscious again, I'm feeling this word teachable, and I'm like looking around the room and I cannot hear, and I know that something major happened. I know that I almost was done for. There's so much urgency and everybody has orbs in front of their chest. I mean, it felt like an otherworldly experience. How do you put that into words? How do you express that so other people can feel what it was like to be me? To feel what it was like to see what I saw and sense what I sensed when I didn't have eyes, I didn't have a body, I didn't have anything that I can compare it to. How do you take that experience and make it communicatable to another human being? Well, that's what I'm trying to do in these episodes, to share with you the wisdom and the knowledge and the peace that I felt in my body. The number one thing I wish everyone knew. It's the thing that guides me now. It was full acceptance. It was unconditional love, but not how we think about unconditional love. We have attached so much resentment and unhealed expectations and just funk around what we think unconditional love is. In these episodes, talking about parenting from the perspective of the void, I want to use language, my frequency, to share with you what I felt, what I sensed, and what I believe about unconditional love, about the energy between parent and child, how generational cycles repeat. If you have children, this is vitally important for you to learn and understand and integrate into your life. If you don't have children, it is so vitally important for you to hear this, because that energy lives in our body. Even if we're not passing it on to another generation, we are passing it on through all of our relationships. The energy between parent and child remains in the body. No matter how old you get, you will always be the child. If you have children, then you're in a tricky spot, because sometimes you're going to be operating as if you're the child when you need to be the parent. But because you didn't get all the things you needed when you were the child, we get our wires crossed. And sometimes we do things with the energy going the wrong direction. And this cycle continues. We end up in a loop doing what was done to us or doing the opposite. But both of those things are still tied to the generation before us. We're not really able to express and love from our own perspective. We're just in a reverberation of things from the past. I could have used any topic to discuss what I felt in the void. It's applicable to everything, but it makes sense with my life experience, my childhood, the fact that I had to parent myself when I was a child, and now as an adult, every moment I see my childhood. Through this project that I'm sharing on TikTok, sharing my life and sharing the photos and the videos, doing the diner publicly for all of you to see, I'm sharing Rosalee's diner, my diner experience as an adult. I'm sharing my process so that you can see how Plumb practice and the diner and photo readings and clarity calls, how that works in action, how me feeling my feelings and expressing myself has contributed to my healing. I'm sharing that publicly so that you know that it's possible for you to do privately. I had a direct one-on-one experience in the void where I met someone. I was with someone that felt familiar but also felt wise. This is how I feel about the void. I could use many different analogies or perspectives to share what I experienced. Each angle I tell the story from gets you closer to what it actually felt like for me. I feel like I'm fumbling around trying to figure out how to give this language. I've been thinking about it literally for almost 10 years. And it still is tricky because this is something that bends our brains. It just does. Okay, so I'm just going to say it bold and flat out how I feel it without thinking about like that I'm saying it for consumption. So I knew that the void experience that I had was an example of singularity and duality. When I was conscious and in my body, there was a duality experience. Oh, I am a soul and I have a body. I have intentionally avoided listening to other people's near-death experiences because I want to be so clear about my own. But I assume that this is something that other people say. You just are clear about something that was very foggy, very hazy, pre-near-death experience, where you might think about God or about a higher power or the universe, or you might have some hypothesis or, some indoctrination, honestly, that you're like, okay, I kind of get the relationship, or we try to personify God and we think of him as a him and as, like a bearded guy in the clouds or Jesus on the cross or Buddha. We try to take something that is so wide and everything and try to grasp it. So we narrow it down. We carve off and we sculpt this everything into one thing. And that's fine. I think that's how our human brains can handle it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm like sculpting through language this massive thing that I experienced, trying to show it to you from one angle. I'm aware that there's many angles. I'm going to continue talking about this from all the angles and all the analogies that I can possibly see it from, so that you can feel it as multifaceted as I felt it, as close as I can get it. I mean, I am a storyteller. I am a word artist. This is the way that I'm channeling my creativity. My physical body is not able to do photo shoots anymore and do oil paintings and do all of the creative expressions that I used to be able to do. So now I paint a picture with my words. I create an image through my vibration, through my frequency. I know you can feel me. I know you hear me, and I know you can sense what it is that I'm sharing with you. I know the more that I share from these different angles, the clearer the picture will be for you. I see it as an image in a dark room. And as that image develops, it comes more into focus. You can kind of see it as an impressionist painting, and then slowly the image sharpens and you get more detail as we go along. The more you participate yourself, join the Plumb Practice membership, enter the diner, have a photo reading, get on a clarity call with me and ask me the questions that you have for me. Tell me the things you want to tell me. I'm extending towards you. The more you extend towards me, the more you will feel and understand of what I'm sharing with you. We're in this together. I'm broadcasting live. What you allow yourself to receive in your body is what you receive. As you trust yourself more, as you are more full of yourself, you will hear me easier and clearer. It'll make more and more sense to you. I give this instruction and recommendation in the pre-reading message when you have a Plumb Point intuitive photo reading. Listen to this message multiple times. Listen to it when you're in different moods. Listen to this with a notebook next to you. Listen to it with your eyes closed. Listen to it while you're doing something. It will open you up in different ways to listen differently. You will hear me differently when you are in a different mood, when you're literally in a different position, when your focus and attention is available to hear what I'm saying. You will hear me. For you, that might be on a walk. For you, that might be doing the dishes. For you, it might be laying in bed with your eyes closed. Receive what I'm sharing with you at whatever level you are comfortable to receive it. As you receive it, things will shift. As you shift, everything shifts around you. More becomes possible. The less we narrow everything down and the more open we are. It takes self-trust and confidence to be able to be open. Confidence and trust comes from knowing yourself. And knowing yourself comes from learning your own language. And learning your own language comes from listening to yourself. And listening to yourself comes from being able to get the words out of your body so that you can see them, so that you can question them, so that you can know what you believe. The things you say inside of yourself, the thoughts, how you speak to yourself, the things you say to other people, if those words are yours, or if more likely, they're an amalgamation of the people that were around you when you were a child. Some of the things you say to yourself that are really hard on you are not your words. They were said to you by someone else. Who is that voice? Often it's somebody who is in authority, a parent, a teacher, an older sibling, a religious leader, and society in general. We look for someone outside of ourselves to tell us who we are and if we're doing a good job. What I felt in the void cleared that up in an instant. The perspective I had, having the mother I had. If you've seen my mother's eyes, she's looking at a 2-year-old child in that particular video. Thousands of grown adults have told me that the look in her eyes terrifies them. Today, they all know that she's gone and she can't hurt them, but the look in her eyes is so chilling that grown adults who know she's gone and cannot hurt them are afraid. What did that energy looking at me, the first face I see, what did that do to me? I knew before I knew language that I couldn't trust my mother, that I didn't love my mother, that she was cruel, and that I was alone, that all I had was myself. I built a really gentle inner world because my outer experience was so rough. My inner dialogue is so soft and sweet, sensitive and gentle. When I hear something that isn't that, I know that it's my mother because it sounds like her. It sounds like how she spoke to me. Recently, I felt like, oh, you're so ungrateful. I went, oh, ho, ho, Rose, that is not true. It was a fleeting thought and I called it out right away and I was like, oh, okay. But most of us, it's so integrated into everything you don't know that that isn't you. You don't realize that when you're hearing something that's mean to you, that's hard on you, we think it's us. Most people believe that there is something wrong with them, that they're not good enough, they didn't do it right, that they're a screw up and a failure. Why would that be? We have learned an overarching lesson that we are bad and wrong, and that we need to ask for forgiveness, that we're born bad. When you're born, anything's possible. I'm thankful that I've had the experience to be in the room when someone is born and when someone dies. You see them arrive and you can see them depart. Where do they go? It's my belief it's the void. While we're here, it's important for us to tell each other how we feel and what we want from our perspective, to just say the words that are right there, to not edit ourselves before it comes out of our mouths or out of our fingertips, to let the words flow. My specialty is I look at a situation, people, human behavior. I just feel it. I feel the energy beneath the words. I understand what's happening. And then I say it in a way that is maybe a little bit silly or has a little, it has my flair to it. It has a Rosalee flair to it. I can say that. And it just turns your head slightly. It's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. I know that I'm here to talk. I'm here to use my words, to give the feeling words that are meaningful, bold, and direct, and maybe a little bit silly, so that it turns your head. It has you see something from a new angle. I never thought of it that way. It's my favorite noise. I love it so much that, When we think of parenting, I really want us to be thinking about the flow of energy between parent and child. No matter how old you are, you will always be the child. No matter how old you get, you will always be the child. So when I'm talking about the baby, the child, I'm talking about you. Even if you have children, I'm still talking about you. When you feel your resistance come up, when you feel like I'm talking shit about you and your parenting or how you were parented, please be gentle with yourself and with me. Really hear what I'm saying. I'm communicating something so vitally important to you. Don't deny yourself this opportunity to hear the truth of my experience. You don't have to believe me. I'm not trying to convince anyone to believe what I believe. I want to share with you so that maybe my words give the feelings in your body language, or they point you in the direction for you to find your own words. That's my whole deal. I'm a pointer. Hey, look over here. Check that out. It's up to you to pursue it if you want, if you're interested, if you're curious. I'm handing you a treasure map with every single video. Everything I'm saying can lead to you if you're willing to listen. When I'm talking about parenting, I'm always talking about the energy between parent and child. No matter how old you are always the child. If you have children, you're gonna have two lines. You're gonna hear me from two different perspectives. You will hear me from the line of parent and the line of child. Don't get your wires crossed. If you find yourself getting amped up by something I'm saying, check in with yourself. If you're listening to me and you feel resistance in your body and you get kind of angry at me, a really easy way to check in with yourself is to see, are you hearing me from the perspective of parent or are you hearing me from the perspective of child? And know that if you are upset with something I'm saying, it's likely that there's energy there. Make note of it. Write it down. Put the date on it. Continue being curious. Set up a clarity call if you want to talk to me one-on-one. As you listen to me talk about Plumb parenting, it's very likely that you will feel some resistance in your body. You might get angry with me. You might feel like I'm wrong. That's understandable, and I encourage you to keep listening. Listen to me again. Make note of how you feel. Write it down and check in with yourself. If you heard what I said from the perspective of you being the child, would you still feel that way? Are you listening to me from the perspective of you being the child or you being the parent? Does it change the meaning of what I said if you listen to me as if you were the child? I mention this a lot, but I follow the feeling, and the feeling has led me to this, to talk about parenting from the perspective of the void. Plumb Parenting 101, to teach this parenting class online for free. This is something I've been thinking about for years. I've been planning it with Sarah, talking about how do I talk about universal parent and the baby? Do we build this as a course that's similar to the diner? Is it something that's included in the diner? Is it separate? Is it this? Is it that? It's something I've been considering for a while and trying to find the perfect language for. Ultimately, I just felt the feeling that the time is now. This is a free course to share my experience in the void and also my childhood experiences and my beliefs about the energy between parent and child and why that lives in our bodies if we have children or if we don't. It's important for us to clear the lines of energy between parent and child if we're in a no contact situation, if we're close, if a parent is no longer with us, if a child is no longer with us. It's a very important relationship, and it's the one that I feel the most qualified to speak on. I want to share with you something I said recently in a reading. I said it with energy and passion. I can feel what you're referring to as self-sabotage, which is so interesting to me. I don't look at your question until I feel complete with what I felt from your photos. It's like the game I like to play with myself, because it's like, I love being accurate and feeling like, haha, I got it. Like, I answered the question without even knowing what it was. I literally wrote down self-sabotage on my notebook page and defined sabotage because I was feeling it. I could tell that's what you think is going on, but that's not what's going on. it's not a self-sabotage. I mean, you maybe are enacting it, perhaps, in the choices that you're making, but it almost feels like you're, like, automatic, and, like, some of the things that you're doing that aren't benefiting you or supporting you feels generational to me. It feels familial and societal and just like the water that you're swimming in, like around you. Like, how do you not have that influence your behavior? Like the sound of our voices, our accents, wherever you were born in the world. If someone is born in London, we expect it. It's understandable. We assume that a little baby born in London is going to hear a certain sound frequency spoken in the language around that baby. When they begin to learn how to speak, their sound is going to sound like the sounds around them. We don't question that. We don't deny that. We don't even think about it, but we assume that that's just going to be the case. Why do we not assume that the things being spoken would influence that baby? Like, you're a little sponge when you're born. You could have had any accent. You could have spoken any language. You just ended up in the location with the specific people that you ended up with, and they were speaking. They were talking around you. They were being themselves, or what they think themselves is, but it really is just like a deposit of information and frequency over the course of multiple generations that just is like, oh, this is who I am. Well, that's a wild thing to think about, but it really is what I believe is true. And when you start thinking about it, it's like, well, yeah, like if you were in an environment where everybody was speaking positivity and possibility and creativity and intuition and autonomy and humanity and community and connection, what you would think was possible for your life would be vastly different. But often in families and communities and connection, people connect through complaints, through criticism, through exclusion. We're going to talk shit about this person because it like bonds us all to have a way to channel our energy in a person to not like. It's funky when you really start looking at it and thinking about it. But it's like, okay, so my family, well, I don't really want to go that, but I don't really, but it's not great. But specifically my dad, mean, very funny, very fast, very smart, very witty, but mean. I was the youngest, sitting around hearing these people talk and keeping up with their jokes and the things that they were saying. But I never was mean. Like, it just wasn't enjoyable for me to be sharp like that. I'm soft and sensitive and sweet. I would have had to change myself to be sharp and be nasty to be one of them. I refused. Then I was the little scapegoat and the one that they could make fun of or say that I was so sensitive or I'm too soft or I need to toughen up, I need thicker skin. People do that to the little creative spark, the little special person. You are warm and kind. And then I feel that there's a crust. What we think is self-sabotage is just we don't know how to practice. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're saying to ourselves. We don't know what's our words and what somebody else's. So we need to figure that out in a way that's fun and interesting that keeps us coming back for more. So that's what I made for you. You could be anyone. You could believe anything about yourself and other people. But you're you. And you're filled with the things that you're filled with. A lot of it is from other people. The only way we can sort that out is to get the words out, to hear ourselves. to know what we say. We do that through therapy. We talk to someone and they reflect back to us. We do that in our friendships. We do that in our journaling practice. What I've created with the Plumb Collective is simple, it's effective and efficient. Very fun and cool and interesting way to see yourself, to get the words out of your body so that you can hear them, so that you can see them, so that you know if it's yours or if it was somebody else saying something to you when you were just a little sponge and you took it in and now you've been repeating it, regurgitating it. It's not really even something you believe. I listen deeply all of the time in clarity calls and in photo readings. I listen to your energy. I listen to the sounds you make, the smells you give off, the vibe. Every reading I do has the energy of other people. As a society, we have faulty energetic boundaries. We're carrying around a lot of unresolved energy, a lot of unspoken things, a lot of resentment, a lot of hurt. I feel it when I look at you. I'm here to help you untangle it. I've had to learn to be comfortable recording myself so that I can share it with you. Talk my words out and listen to what I say. I've recorded myself and watched myself back so that I can hear my own language and go, okay, is that me or is that someone else? I participate in Plumb practice. It's 1 hour once a week and I get the words out of my body and I just say it flat out the way I feel it. I don't edit myself as I'm writing. I just write whatever's there. As I'm writing, it often feels like I'm not making any sense. Like right now, as I'm talking, I feel like I've been all over the map. I don't know that there's been a consistent theme through this episode at all. And I trust myself because I practice, because I've done it enough. I know that there is something here. If I just keep talking, if I just keep writing, I will see something, I will hear something, I will feel something. Something will show up and I will shift. It will make a difference in my life. It will make a difference in how I see myself and how I understand what happened. We gossip and talk to our friends and we complain to our families, but how often do we hear what we say? We'll say things like, oh, I'm just speaking into the void. Yeah, you are, but are you listening to the void? Are you listening to your words back inside of the void? Well, that's what the diner is. You can play the game with yourself. You can put your life into this structure that I created, into the framework. The framework works. It works. You put your life into it. You play the little game. Follow the steps. Feel something different about yourself and your life and your relationships with other people. And it's like, okay, where did I get this information? Like, how did I develop that? How did I know to do it? Well, because my life experiences, because I've been people watching literally my entire life. I've had to stay 10 steps ahead to keep myself safe. I've had to be able to read people, to tell them who they are so that they would leave me alone. I know what I'm talking about. I know human behavior. I know how to put sensation into language. I'm here to point and guide you. I'm an existential tour guide and life doula. I want you to birth yourself into your own life. I want you to feel your sensations inside of your body so that you know if you're enjoying your life or not from your sensory experience, not from some external source that's telling you you're doing a good job or a bad job or you're not enough or you're too much. I want you to feel your senses. I want you to be connected to your intuition. I want you to feel brave because we need to be brave right now. I want you to feel the unconditional love that you can have for yourself. Right now, you might not even like yourself. The flow of energy is fucked up. Your wires are crossed. And it's understandable how they got that way. The energy between parent and child has been flowing in the wrong direction. Parents expect so much from their children. A lot of parents expect children to fix, to be the answer. My mother expected me to be the answer for her. She expected me to give her unconditional love. And when I didn't even like her because of how she treated me, she did not honor the energy between parent and child. She betrayed it. I learned from my personal experiences with my parents, what they did, what they didn't do. I learned from my near-death experiences. I've learned from reading photos for people from all over the world, people that are not connected to each other. Their only connection is through me. I am sensing things in people with backgrounds that are totally different, circumstances and details that couldn't be further apart, and yet the energy between parent and child is there, is present. How that energy flows determines what is possible for us now. As always with the Plumb podcast, we follow the feeling around here. We don't know what direction we're going to go, but it feels important that this is now. I didn't want to talk about the adult man anymore. I wasn't ready to talk about the hat man or the milkman or my mother or my father or my former friends or any of the villains of the void. I'm sick of it. I don't want to talk about them right now. I really don't. I want to talk about things that are possible. I want to talk about the flow of energy. I want to talk about making a difference in the world. We need what the Plumb Collective is offering now more than ever. Sarah and I are showing you how to be authentic. We're giving you directions back towards yourself, coordinates straight to the heart of the matter. If you're willing, if you're interested, you can find yourself very easily. The framework works. Put your life into the framework, bring yourself to the game. It's fun, it's interesting, it's not scary. It's not hard. You get to choose. You don't have to trust me or anyone. You don't even have to trust yourself. It really is the coolest thing. It feels kind of magical because it is. It contains the energy of the void, and it's through my lens, through my artistry, and through my relationship and connection with Sarah. To have someone support me and care for me and nurture me after a lifetime of neglect. Sarah's universal parent energy, how she cares for me and about me, is how you're even seeing this episode right now. I couldn't do this on my own, and I'm glad I don't have to. We are in this together, all of us. None of us are alone, and you can practice on your own. You don't have to share anything with anybody. I hear, well, that sounds too good to be true. I get it. But I made it. I made it intentionally so that it would work that way because I couldn't trust anybody. I couldn't. It has taken years for me to trust Sarah. I trust myself, but other people have hurt me so profoundly that it's understandable that I made things in such a way to protect the person. This is my feeling. We need to get the words out of our body. However you want to do that, if you want support, check out the mirror. It's free and it's fantastic. If you'd like me to look at you, you don't have to tell me anything. Take a selfie and ask me a question. That's it. And I speak right to your heart. I deliver a message to you that can make all the difference. If you'd like to talk to me, if you want to get on a Zoom call together, let's have a clarity call. Call me and I will answer. Tell me anything and I will listen to you without judgment. Ask me anything and I will give you everything that I feel. If you want the how-to guide, enter the diner. We teach you how, step by step, how to learn to listen to yourself. We give you incredible visualizations, things for you to feel your feelings with guidance. There's time for self-expression where you get the words out of your body. You learn to see yourself. We talk about all the pitfalls, the things that could get in the way. Like the whole thing of I'm going to hold your hand. We hold your hand. I'm going to watch myself back. I'm going to hear what I said, and we'll go from there. We're going to go deeper into the void through the lens of Plumb parenting. We're going to talk about the universal parent and the baby. I will share with you how I feel about unconditional love and how you can learn to connect to it for yourself. This is unfolding in real time. It's unfolding naturally and intuitively. I'm following the feeling, and the feeling has led me here. Thank you for being with me and being interested in what I have to say. I'm sending you so much love.